It was a star-studded and a family affair. Serena Williams played her final match. Can you guys believe it? In her final U.S. Open tournament. Serena won the match in straight sets yesterday. Her family was there to cheer her on. This makes me emotional. Watch this, including her daughter Olympia, who twinned with her mom. Olympia also, you may have noticed, wore similar braids in her hair. We put that on our DBL Instagram today. You got to go see that. That Serena, of course, wore when she won her first U.S. Open back in 1999. I could just stare at that photo. Stars were also packing the stands to see her play, like Hugh Jackman and his wife, along with Lindsey Vonn and Anthony Anderson. Vogue editor, of course she was there. Look at her with her sunglasses. Anna Wintour was spotted sitting in style. And check this out. It looked like, Bill Clinton might have been getting some advice from Dr. Ruth, huh? But there was also a case of mistaken identity in the stands involving actress Laverne Cox. Laverne reposted a tweet that identified her as the one and only Beyonce. Clearly flattered, she captioned the post, "Not me getting mistaken for Beyonce." Yes.
Biggest flex of your life.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Erica, how would you say Serena changed the game of tennis? And then I also want to hear what your initial reaction was seeing that picture of Olympia in the braids from 1999.
You know, I think, Lord, when I've always said this, but when Serena and Venus came into the national stage, I mean, that was such a game changer for young girls like me in braids and beads, right. To really feel like we had access and the ability to break ceilings. But I also look at young Olympia and look at the picture, of Venus and Serena from back, early on, and my heart, it's like the fact that Serena is considered the GOAT is something that is so deserved, because what those little girls had to go through from grown butt people and media and the scrutiny and speculation in order for them to get to where they are. Like, when we talk about breaking boundaries and ensuring that the generation behind us don't have it as hard, or making sure that they don't have to necessarily go through what we had to go through. I look at her daughter and I'm like, man, does she look at her every day and just think this was all for you? Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I saw, just really quick, the New York Times had...
You brought your newspaper with
it was
10 marks all over it?
First impressions of a future champion. So it was what famous tennis people felt when they first saw Serena and Venus. Rick Macy is the famous coach that first saw them. Remember in the documentary, the King Richard. Yeah,
yep.
He says this. They ran so fast they almost fell down, and I went right up to Rich and I said, "You've got the next female Michael Jordan," referring to Venus, because she was older and better then. And Richard said, "No, I got the next two." Aww. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, if you watch King Richard, you see Serena kind of in the shadows of Venus until she, got older. But the whole time, I mean, she was just sitting on a pot of gold.
Both of them, yeah.
I mean, it's weird to say I look at this and I think of myself, but in a weird way, I see her kind of at this crossroads. She is a young daughter now, and for her entire life since she was able to stay in, she's been playing tennis and dominating it in a way that no one ever has and probably no one ever will. And I didn't do that with comedy, but I did love comedy as a kid. I listened to records, I listened to tapes, I listened to old Carlin CDs before I ended up doing stand-up. And then when I had my kids, I was having this weird thing where I didn't want to. I used to love to jump on the plane. I have a hotel. They paid for my hotel. I was young and excited. They're giving me money to do stand-up, and as you grow and start to do TV, you're like, I think I'm a professional comic. And then you have kids, and now you don't want to get on that plane, and you don't want to check into that hotel. And I was having this internal battle that I think that all athletes have. Dwayne Wade, when he retired, got a sports psychologist to help with that transition. And I think a lot of people, whether you play sports, whatever your job is, you're going to have a moment where something is more important than that. And probably, I know I was not ready to deal with that without professional help. So I definitely recognize her incredible career. And she's got a more important career, which is being a mama and a CEO, philanthropist, mogul.
Yep,
so, yes,
exactly.
This will not be the last time we hear from her.
Yep, well said, Al. So Chris Rock reportedly addressed the slap once again during a comedy show. While on stage in Arizona, Chris said he was asked to host the Oscars next year. But he said that would be like Nicole Brown Simpson returning to the restaurant. A reference to her murder, which happened after leaving an Italian restaurant. Chris also revealed he was asked to do a Super Bowl commercial after being slapped on stage, but also refused that offer. Do you think it was out of line for the Oscars to ask Chris to come back and host? What would you say, Erica?
Out of line? No, that's par for the course.
Why do you think he refused it?
Because he has dignity? I mean, like, it just seems like at this point, like, of course the Oscars is going to ask, and of course some brand is going to want him to really, to me, it's like play like some minstrel character on, like,
minstrel.
you know, like, of course they want that because they want that recognition. They want those eyeballs. They want the notoriety on the back of his story. This is a situation where this man was the victim of someone else's assault. It was an assault in front of everybody. And now other entities really think that they're going to capitalize on his misfortune. He needs to make those lemons into lemonade on his own terms, in his own words, the way that he feels it's appropriate to do
on
so.
Stage, on his own terms, to Erica's point.
Yeah,
he's
also,
doing it.
If you do it, like we said, like a Dorito commercial, it lessens the whole thing. Really, it really makes it commercial. It makes it not his. It's not his narration. It's now a joke. And although he will make it a joke, Chris Rock, he will make it a much more interesting, nuanced joke than a Doritos Cool Ranch, right? So bravo for him to saying, this is my story, I'll tell it.
That's what I wish Johnny Depp did. Not to compare the two, but Johnny Depp, listen, a lot of people would call Johnny Depp the victim. We all know that his hands were not clean in the matter either. But when we saw Johnny Depp come on the MTV Video Music Awards in like as an astronaut, it felt like it diminished the whole movement that supported him, in my opinion. It felt too soon.
Trivialized.
It felt trivial.
Yeah, I think that's what would have happened if Chris Rock had done a commercial making a parody of this, and they would have got a big check for that. But Chris Rock's not really worried about money at this point in his career. What he is in control of is his narrative and his leverage. And right now, doing any commercial would take away his leverage with this next Netflix or HBO special, whichever direction he wants to go, because this is the most anticipated comedy special of all time. And the way Chris Rock structures his jokes, I've listened to his bits hundreds of times. The way he structures things is he's going to take you down a path. It's going to be a little dark. It's going to be a little funny. There'll be side anecdotes. But he gets to now take that narrative, make it his own, and then, more importantly, put it to bed. Because if he makes a commercial and then makes another one in 3 months, it's just this thing, oh, that's the guy that thing happened to. But if he takes this once, does it in front of the world, and puts it to bed, he can move on with his career, and he'll get less questions about, tell us about the slap. He's like, I told you about the slap 2 specials ago.
So true. So Meghan Markle is once again speaking out about her break from the royal family. During her chat with The Cut magazine, Meghan dished on her strained relationship with royal life. While a royal, she revealed she was expected to share pictures of her son Archie with the British media, but refused because of their racist coverage of her. She also thought she could act the part of a princess because of her former profession. Meghan also said while she lost her dad due to quote-unquote toxic tabloid culture, it doesn't have to be the same for Harry and his dad, Prince Charles. She also said she and Harry wanted to have jobs and make their own money, but was told that wasn't something they were allowed to do, even though she said other members of the royal family have jobs like Princess Eugenie and Beatrice. In fact, one of them I know is an art gallery owner. The other one works in finance.
Yeah.
What would you say, Erica? Especially the part about the tabloid being forced to share pictures of your son?
Right. And people want to push back on that. Like, you have already made it very clear that you're racist as you know what. And you want for me to put my child out there so that you can manipulate his image or have anything to have people out there
spectating. Can you imagine the headlines that would be over that?
Yeah. I don't like. It's like don't pour water on my leg and tell me it is raining. You know, like I mean, it's just the fact that people, and did y'all see Twitter? Because it was like a whole trending debacle over the weekend about people trying to come for Meghan Markle because her podcast was #1 in 10 countries. Okay, that's how you switch the narrative and own what it is that you're saying when you cannot be muzzled by anyone. I am so proud of this woman. If you are someone who is sitting in hate and you were upset that trending was #congratulations Meghan, then that's for you. Every time you want to go after people, especially with your hateful heart and hateful ways, energy comes in a lot of form, baby. And if people have a flexible mind, they can take that energy and make that into a comeback every time. So come with your hate, come with your nastiness, because the level of comebackery that some of us have is unprecedented, and Meghan Markle is leading the charge in this very moment.
Well, I mean, and I have to push back on this, and this will not be popular. But when you enter a situation like the monarchy, you have to know that there are going to be expectations of you when you show up in traditions, and one of them is that you probably will not be able to work. I mean, the racism is disgusting, obviously.
Put that aside.
So I wonder, does this fall more on her or more on Harry to tell her what she was walking into? Because she seemed, as I was, shocked at the vitriol that was thrown her way. But should she have been better prepared for that, Tori?
Very quickly, I would say it reminds me a lot of Princess Diana. She also thought, I can come in, I can modernize the monarchy. British people don't necessarily want that. They want traditional. Americans have a very different take on the royals. So at this point, I think they kept trying, and the royals, I think they were surprised at how firm and traditional the monarchy is going to stay.
I think we also very quickly forget that public sentiments were for Harry and Meghan until they got married, and then it became too much for Harry and Meghan.
Yes.
And I don't care what anybody says, that public smear campaign was to put them in their place. So of course anything that they wanted to do, it's like, could she have been prepared for it? I don't know. If you're going to be told that you're going to be punched in the head, do you know what being punched in the head really feels like until it actually happens to you?
But it
do
happened
you
to his
know?
mother. It happened to Diana.
Yeah, but at the same time, when you're talking about the idea of there being an evolution, when Diana became princess, were there any black people in the royal family? Like, I mean, there's so much that you're like, there's no way to anticipate the level of vitriol that they received and why and how. There's no way that anybody could have been prepared for that.
Well, speaking of the royal family, tomorrow we will all be looking back at the life of the late Princess Diana on the 25th anniversary of her death. In fact, Stephanie Jones will join us on the panel to talk about how Britain will be remembering the People's Princess.